What would the taste of all the herbs together taste like?
Always put mint in a pot that it can become hella invasive.
The mint leaf has now vacated the cup.
I'm sorry, I've eaten spaghetti sauce with laurel leaf and I've eaten spaghetti sauce without laurel leaf. I don't really know what it does.
I've never seen a rosemary flower. Welcome back to the Helpful Gardeners podcast. Colin, we're having a big old kitchen party today.
It smells so good in here.
It does. There's something about herbs and just like, yeah, literally before the show, all you were doing was just like touching them and smelling them. And it was really good. I'm even blending in a little bit.
Yeah, you've got the...
Very floral.
I'm not.
No.
Not at all. Maybe if I lay down, I could be like one of those crossing things, like zebra crossing. But other than that,
crosswalk.
Crosswalk in England, they're called zebra crossings.
Actually?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's called a zebra crossing because it's black and white.
Okay, well, that's cool.
And I totally forgot the Canadian name, even though I've lived here longer than I've lived in England.
That's
but
okay.
I did learn that name during my formative years, so that's what stays with you.
Yeah.
But anyway, it does smell delicious.
It does smell delicious. And this is a really fun topic because I love food. I love cooking. I love growing herbs. I've grown lots of mint in my house before. But you came up with this concept of kitchen party. And I was like, ooh, tell me more. So what are we talking about when we talk about, sorry, kitchen party? I said kitchen garden.
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay, kitchen. You know what I'm talking about. I started with kitchen party and then I got excited about parties.
Okay, so I'm going to digress here, but this is a fun Canadian fact.
Yeah.
So if you go to a house party on the East Coast, 70% of the action at that house party where everybody's congregating and sitting and having fun is in the kitchen.
Really?
Every time. And I could never figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
I could never, because that's not what happens in England. And apparently back in the day, when they all had, big houses, like I'm going back a couple of hundred years here. Well, the most comfortable room in the house was the kitchen because you had the stove for heat. There was a door to get in and out to the outhouse and whatnot. And that's where they would party. And it carried over. So even though there is no reason to still party in the kitchen, they still do.
Even here, I find it's sort of the same thing. Like in our townhouse, the kitchen was where everybody gathered because there was just this big island and then everybody could fit and look at each other and
you got
eat.
counters to lean on and it's,
Well, who knew the kitchen was so functional? Because it can host parties and it can grow a garden.
Exactly.
Ooh, chocolate mint.
Chocolate mint, so
chocolate
good.
Mint.
Crush it up and put it in your coffee and you get a chocolatey mint flavor.
Actually, hold on. I'm just going to take one.
And you're going to put it in your coffee.
No.
Oh.
Oh, whoa, weird. That tastes like a Girl Guide cookie.
Yeah, exactly. That's so good.
I just put it in. Oh, no, I didn't scrunch it up, though.
Oh, so you just got a leaf floating in you. You've got to release the oil.
Oh, Oops. Okay, moving on. What else do we have on this table? So we have, chamomile. Do you say chamomile or chamomile?
Chamomile.
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 My all-time favorite.
Lemon balm. Lemon balm smells incredible. We've also got some basil. And then what's that little green leafy thing?
Garlic chives.
Garlic chives.
Yeah.
They make a really nice flower too, hey?
Yeah, they do. The purple flower. So you know that, the bulb, the flower bulb. So we're hearkening back a little bit here. The big flower bulb, you see late spring, they're one of the latest bulbs to come out, and it's the big purple orange ball.
Yeah.
So they're called allium, and they're part of the garlic family. That's why it has the big purple round flower like chives.
Oh,
because
cool.
chives are in that family too.
Oh, what a cool little coincidence. But there's a couple different interpretations here because when we talk about kitchen garden, you can either think of it as growing a garden in your kitchen, right? So that's things like herbs. Lettuces I've seen some people grow inside as well. And it's really easy because microgreens, exactly right. So kitchen garden can be interpreted in that way. But kitchen garden, as I was doing my research, can also extend to that outside environment where it's, a little garden full of all of your essentials. So like all of the things that you'd be using on a daily routine, like you were mentioning, your herbs and your lettuces and stuff like that outside. It gives you the convenience of requiring just a few minutes or hours of your time each week. So it's like a manageable garden. It's not too big. It's all of your essentials. And I love that.
Yeah. And another one that you can do as well. It's kind of like the outdoor one. Some people will do raised planters or wall planters or whatnot outside next to their barbecue.
Oh, that's so smart.
So then you can barbecue with your fresh herbs.
Yeah.
You can sprinkle whatever you sprinkle on barbecued meat.
Yeah.
Maybe not lemon balm. At one time, I'm in a digression mood today. I don't know why, but I got lots of stories coming. I may not use fresh herbs, but they're good for the memory.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember when I worked at the Sugar Shack.
Yeah.
And so we were working in the kitchen because we did that. And then we also served people. We made the syrup and then we served people. And somebody came in and they got the full breakfast. So they got like sausage and eggs and beans. And I'm sitting there, and you got to remember, I'm pretty new to Canada. I'm not that familiar with traditions per se.
Yeah.
And I served this guy the breakfast, and he sits down. Oh, pancakes were on there, obviously. And he poured maple syrup on everything.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that.
On his eggs.
Yeah.
Yeah, on his sausage.
I've actually tried it. It's really good. Sorry, Colin.
I was like, you know when you don't realize you're staring at somebody because you're not really staring at them. You're just aghast at the situation. I was like, if that had been an accident on Deerfoot, I would have been one of those people rubbernecking because I'm just like, I want to go over and be like, sir, is everything okay at home?
Oh, on that same wavelength, have you ever tried, what would the taste of all the herbs together taste like?
Oh, challenge accepted.
No. Oh, man, I don't know if that would taste good.
I'll do that this summer. I'll grow all my herbs. Or take all of the herbs from the teapot.
Yeah.
So we do the teapot, so it's lavender, normally. Lavender, chamomile, mint, and lemon balm.
Yeah.
Just right there, mint and lemon balm doesn't sound good. But I totally forgot how we got on this. I went straight to maple syrup. I forgot. Oh, because we were talking about barbecuing, and I said putting lemon balm on.
You can grow a kitchen garden inside. You can grow a kitchen garden outside, and you can also grow it right next to your barbecue, and just a nice, convenient way of gardening. So I guess we should start with outside. It's summer.
Yeah.
So let's talk about, are there some herbs that take less time versus more time?
The problem with herbs, if you haven't started them early, you absolutely can start them from seed, but you need to get a good amount of growth before you can start using them.
Yeah.
So this basil now is still relatively thin and small to be just chopping off randomly. Now I would chop this, absolutely. I would knock it back to inspire it to get bushier and use it. But this has probably been grown for a couple of months. But that's not the end of the world. What's wrong with having fresh herbs?
That's true. True.
What's wrong with having fresh herbs? Then here's the progression. Then you move it to your inside kitchen garden.
There you go. Okay.
So I always do my herbs. Okay. Life hack for anybody who doesn't know. I think a lot of people do know. All of these, every single herb here will do good in the garden. Do not put mint in your garden.
Okay.
I have spent countless hours weeding mint out of gardens.
Yeah.
And at first you're like, oh, this smells great. And after a while, you're like, I never want to smell mint again. It sends out. So you've got the mint in front of you.
Yeah.
Look at those runners.
Yeah.
And every time it comes out, basically you'll see on one of those long runners, there's a place where it'll drop roots.
Yeah.
So you pulse them out, but you haven't got all of it, and it just keeps going. Always put mint in a pot that it can become hella invasive. Herbs are one of the few plants that I will bring indoors, outdoors.
Okay.
I like them in pots.
Yeah.
And bring it inside. And this smells good now, but when you bring your plants in from outside and they're in the kitchen and you've got lavender and lemon balm and mint and basil and oregano, kitchen just smells. Yeah. I'm getting hungry.
I know. It's kind of romantic too, right?
Yeah.
Kind of growing one of these little gardens, and you just make it your daily routine to go out and you harvest and come back in. You get a chance to reconnect with nature after a long day. You get to see the birds and the bees. And
I love, what's your favorite aesthetic for a pot for herbs?
Are you talking about taste? Or are you talking about just absolutely like how it looks and everything?
How it
textures?
looks either together, like which herbs you like with which herbs, the type of pot it's in.
Yeah.
Do you mix and match, or do you do like one container that has 3 types of basil?
Yeah.
One container that has 3 types of mint.
Honestly, I've always wanted to do a mint bowl that has that different flavor of mint, but I also really love the look of like oregano and thyme.
Okay,
like,
yeah.
You know, like the little delicate leaves, they almost kind of remind me of like a fairy garden, and putting them in a nice pot.
Yeah, I know which ones. I know exactly.
Isn't that, it's just so, it's so nice.
One herb I don't particularly like the flavor of, but I love the aesthetic of it. The shade of the green, that leaf, everything is parsley.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Parsley to me, it's there's something about the flavor. It's too clean. It's like more like a palate cleanser than anything else. I don't really find it that palatable personally.
You know, actually, come to think of it, I have never met somebody who will grow parsley, and I don't know why. If it's just like I don't know if it's just, you know, the season of life that I'm in, and most people are just growing the main staple foods. And parsley, in my opinion, has always been like a finisher, like a topper, right?
Garnish.
So yeah, we're just like, I'm just gardening so that I have something to eat. Whereas maybe, like, you know, in a more progressed season of life, I might be more inclined to do that.
Parsley is used in a lot of the Mediterranean cooking and salads. And I don't mind it in this. I don't dislike it. It's not like celery. I do not like celery. Wondering what was.
Okay, the mint leaf has now vacated the cup.
There we go.
Gross.
But I genuinely don't want celery in my food, in any of my dishes. My favorite, it just makes me happy. The aesthetic, I love it when I've got 5, 6 pots of all different herbs, but all the pots are different. So there's terracotta and there's ceramic. I don't even care if there's plastic. I don't care. But I love that idea, that aesthetic where it looks like you just grabbed all these old pots without any form or style and just put herbs in them, and then they all play well together. I love that aesthetic and the smell and whatnot.
Yeah. So if you're looking for a way to be inspired by a kitchen style garden outside, definitely want to play with heights, play with the kinds of pots that you use, play with the location, making sure also that you still put them in a suitable location. So if you want to put it by your barbecue, just also keep in mind that the light that it's receiving, make sure that it's receiving all of its.
Make sure it's not too close to where the heat comes off the barbecue.
That's another thing too, making sure they don't dry out.
And another thing you can do as well, one last thing I'll throw there, you don't have to use them exclusively for cooking. You can do both, and you can allow, you do 3 basil in a pot.
Yeah.
Let one of them go to flower.
Oh, yeah. And then the pollinators will come by.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Let one of them go to flower, enjoy the flower, enjoy the fragrance, let the pollinators enjoy it, and you harvest the other 2.
Oh, I've never thought of doing that. That's such a great idea. Because normally I take off the flowers, but why not leave a few things?
Yeah. I mean, ideally, if you're cutting your herbs as regular as you want, they will literally never bloom. You're not even cutting off the flowers because you cut them, they're like, okay, I got to grow again. And they start growing and you're like, ha, sucker.
But make sure that you leave the flowers, like, as you mentioned, only on one of the full plants. Because if, like, I just imagine somebody with like one basil plant and then they're like, oh, I'll just take off one of the flowers and leave one of the flowers. No.
Good
you
point.
Leaving it to flower will impact the entire plant.
Exactly. So you cut these 2 stems, but you leave this stem.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're still going to lose it. Yeah. Dedicate a full plant, not a stem or half of a plant. Great point.
Yeah, and there's so many different flowers. Like, I think it was on the oregano. Isn't the oregano flower like a cutesy little purple pink one? Let's go off-road a little bit.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah. I have seen that, actually.
Yeah, they're really cutesy.
I haven't done it. I always cut my oregano.
Yeah.
I love the basil flower. It's that nice white flower.
Let's see. I've actually never. Oh, yeah.
Yep. Thyme, that's the fuzzy. Yep.
Oh, my gosh. It looks like a lilac.
Yeah, I love it.
That is so cute. So thyme flowers are really cute.
Mint, lemon balm.
Oh, it's interesting that most of them are purple.
Yep.
I've never seen a rosemary flower. Ooh, that's beautiful.
It's a sprig of rosemary.
Oh my gosh, that's gorgeous.
So there's nothing wrong with multi-purposing your herbs.
No, I'm not. Oh, bay leaf flower is like a yellow flower.
Look where it forms too.
Yeah.
I've never grown bay leaf, but that actually inspires me now.
I don't know why this is. I knew garlic chives flowered.
Yeah. Did you look at mint flower? We didn't look up mint flower.
Mint flower. Yeah, again, it's like a purpley kind of.
They remind me a lot of clover.
Oh yeah,
the little fuzz tips, the little bunny butts.
Oh, and okay, obviously people know about dill flower.
Yeah,
right. But what is an chamomile? Of course,
parsley flower.
Parsley flower.
Let's see if there's a reason to grow parsley. What's your?
Whoa, that looks like a dill.
Oh, interesting.
Which is very interesting. Yeah.
Except it's white. Oh, here's a challenge. Okay. You like to throw challenges at me. By the way, my poinsettia is still alive and doing good.
Really?
Yeah, I'll get you a picture of it. Grow herbs.
Yeah.
I know you have a busy summer, but grow herbs. Let them go to flower and press the flowers.
Oh, that's such a good idea.
Yeah. Do like a little herb press.
All right.
Yep.
Sounds good.
But yeah, so the thing I love about it, so we've got flowers, flavors, you've got teas, you've got food, attraction for the pollinators, so many amazing things. But then I love the fact that you can bring them indoors and keep gardening year round.
Okay, I love this. Let's transition indoors. So, because there's a couple ways that you can do this. You can, as you just mentioned, bring them from outside indoors. So say you did start around this time and you were like, oh gosh, like they didn't really get very high, then you can bring them inside. And then there's also starting from seed. So let's actually start with moving them inside. So any tips and tricks that you have on making sure that they get inside? Because I know you have to think about bugs. You have to think about even where you're going to put them.
Bugs for sure. And especially with it being something you're going to eat.
Yeah.
Be careful with what sprays you're using.
Okay, yeah.
So keep an eye out. A lot of the sprays, they are relatively fine as long as you wash the food.
Okay, good.
A lot of them are just insecticidal soaps. Okay. But always double check. Don't just say, well, Colin said insecticidal soap, because it could be insecticidal soap with. The other thing that I think is hard on people, okay, so the plants are being outside, they're being climatized. Now you're bringing them back into a stable temperature. You may find that they're drying out quicker.
Oh.
So they may start actively growing. So keep an eye on the moisture.
Okay.
Keep an eye on the moisture and light. But if you're going to do herbs in the kitchen, I'll put this side out.
This is Colin Cam.
Okay, that's Colin Cam. There we go.
Yeah.
And look, I could be like
that. But these, honestly, I love these things because the thing that I love about it is that it has an adjustable light.
Yep.
So it can go with however tall your herbs are. Everything's contained, easy for watering. And then this has a water reservoir too, hey?
Yeah, so you can use it as an overflow or the wicking method. But you want to know one of the best hacks with these?
What?
So I start my seeds. Then they go into this and it works great because like you said, you lift the light up. So as your seeds are getting taller, so the light isn't permanently up here so they get leggy, but it's not down here so your seeds are getting burned or hitting the light. So you all the way up. But then when my seeds are done and I'm planting and everything's outside and we're into summer, this is where I do a lot of propagation of house plants, or if a house plant maybe isn't doing so good and needs a little boost and it's just a little one, it can go in there. They are an absolute great little hack. They'll fit under kitchen counters.
Yeah.
Awesome gift idea. I've got 3 grow light gardens and I love them.
What if your herbs by the end of this summer are huge and then you don't want to bring in an entirely huge plant? I remember, like a few months ago, you were talking about how you had a plant, a herb, and you would make a cutting off of it and bring that inside. So that's an option too.
Yep. Mint, lemon balm do it. Chives, you really don't have to worry about. Chives are a perennial, so no harm there. Mint is really good. Lemon balm is really good. Lavender, it might be doable. I've never bothered. If I'm being honest, I've never bothered propagating it. But yeah, bring them inside for sure.
How do you make a cutting though? Like, what do you?
I would just, if I was to make, I don't want to lose my mic. So if I was to make a cutting, if I was to try it, and I'll try it this year. I just never have before. I don't have anything to cut. I don't even have my keys. I have a knife on my keys. Okay, let's do old school cut.
Oh.
There we go.
Okay.
So I would cut a sprig like this.
Couple inches, right?
Yeah, and then I would peel off the leaves. Get out of here, leaf.
I know, it smelled really good.
Smells so good. and I would peel off leaves, so I've got a bit of a bare stem where the leaves were.
Okay.
And then I would take a shot glass or a mustard jar or any of the other lovely things I use that Jenny adores. And then I would stick that in water. I'd stick a few of them in water and put it in there.
Okay.
Let the light hit it, let it be static, and I'm willing to bet you're going to get roots coming off that.
And that would take less time than starting from seed, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it might be worth a shot if you have a big, herb and you don't want to bring the whole thing in, but you still want herbs during the wintertime, then that's an option.
And if anybody has done it before with any herbs that we haven't mentioned, let us know what other herbs react really well to it, because mint and lemon balm are the two easiest. They want to do that anyway. But and then now let's go full cycle.
Yeah.
So what I used to do with the mint and the lemon balm and whatnot, now spring has come, I've got my mint, it's grown, I take a cutting, I propagate it again, I stick it in a pot, now it's outside.
Oh, perfect.
And you just keep that cycle going.
Oh, I like that challenge, actually.
You could buy certain herbs, kind of plant them once, and then really never buy them again.
Yeah.
I think the longest run Harry and I did, and we lost it when we did a move, I think the longest run we did was, I want to say it was 3 years of the same mint.
Yeah.
And we used it in cooking and tea and whatnot. And then every year it went outside and every year it came back in. Now, obviously we're cutting it back and we're trimming it and we're shaping it. So it's not the same sprig, but it was the same DNA. It was the same plant. A lot of us want to grow, like me personally, I can get blindsided and I can miss this whole thing. And I mean, I don't miss it as much. I'm here, I see them, I smell them, I enjoy them. But we can get overpowered because we get super excited with our veggies.
Yeah.
Our peppers, our tomatoes, lettuce, kohlrabi. Or we get blindsided by the flowers. And you go, oh my God, look at that flower. Look at that the begonia. Look at that osteospermum. And it's the color and it's a vividness. And then these guys are just kind of like, I'm little and I'm green. And you're like, whatever, get out of here, herb.
Yeah.
And I think they get overlooked, but they don't take a lot of room. They grow well in pots. They tuck into little areas. Things like you got a heat sink in your deck and you're like, everything I plant there sucks. It dies. It dries out so quick. Basil will step up.
Yeah.
You got an area, heavy shade. It's always kind of damp. Nothing goes there. Again, I don't recommend putting it in the garden, but if you're really stuck, mint will be your friend.
Yeah.
So they have a purpose. They can actually go in areas that other plants can't.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of versatility with them.
I love it. I think, whether you're thinking about starting a kitchen garden outside or thinking about bringing a kitchen garden inside, I think you're going to find a lot of benefits from doing it. And I'm actually going to try it. I'm going to try growing the a couple of the regular herbs and then growing one for flowers. I think that was a really great idea. I really want to try experimenting with different textures and different tastes. I just was like, while we were talking, looking up herb salads. So there are such thing as herb salads. But I think especially if your lifestyle is a busy one,
herb
right?
Salad.
Yes. Yeah.
You got me intrigued. You can't drop that and then be like, if your lifestyle is a busy one, like,
I don't know.
You can't.
Okay, hold on. We'll talk about this quickly and then.
I'm not saying we have to go.
Well, you do use lettuce and arugula, so there is still a base of. We
can let them slide into the herb category right now,
but
just for today.
But then you put 2 cups of fresh herbs and. But use less if you're using strong flavored herbs. Okay. So I'd imagine it's just sort of like whatever you fancy, right? And then you put a lemon vinaigrette on it, and I guess it just tastes incredible. I've never tried it, so I'm curious. You can even put edible flowers in it.
Oh yeah, you could add nasturtiums and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
There's so many things. Again, it's gardening. It all plays well. Remember when we were talking about companion planting, and immediately you go, well, what job is it going to do? Companion planting might be basil, oregano, and tomatoes. Yeah. And you got a great base for any sauce. Yeah. Right? So just have fun with it. If anybody knows what they can propagate, let me know. Maybe I will grow laurel this year, but I don't know. I never use it. That's the thing. I've never, in my life, I don't know what laurel leaves do other than get in your spaghetti sauce and you have to pick it out awkwardly at the table, especially when Whenever I seem to go to somebody's house that uses laurel leaves in their spaghetti sauce, I always seem to get the stupid leaf. And then I've got to pick it out of my food. And I'm like, this feels very uncomfortable. And
yeah, you're pulling it out like I did with my coffee.
Yep, I've done that before where it's in your mouth and you're like...
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I've eaten spaghetti sauce with laurel leaf and I've eaten spaghetti sauce without laurel leaf. I don't really know what it does. It just strolls along. You know what it is? It's that person on the team project that does absolutely nothing and gets all the credit. You're
it's
like, what?
Fancy leaf, right?
What did you even do? It's like, don't worry about it.
You know what, though? Like, I don't know if you're like me, but I get inspired when I'm surrounded by... the like plants and everything. Yep. Like if I have a fully stocked house and I'm just sitting there and a pantry and I'm like looking at it, I'm like, oh yeah, I could make this and I can make this and I can make this. But like, say you're sitting out on your deck and your garden is like on the other side of the yard. That wouldn't inspire me so much as if I had a kitchen garden like right next to my patio and I can look at it and be like, oh wow, I have this and I have this and I have this and I can do this. And it would inspire me actually to use that garden more.
And that's where ours is. So you've been to our house. Yeah. You know where our patio is, right? Off the kitchen and the dining room. That's where we do all of our herbs.
Yeah, exactly. So I think there's definitely value in trying a kitchen garden and also giving yourself that challenge of, hey, can I bring this inside and maybe keep the tradition going? And it can be something that, like you said, you don't have to buy a herb plant ever again.
And fresh herbs are they're really good. I want to touch on this as well. The smell of them and the taste of them, cutting them and working with plants throughout the winter is very beneficial to our mental health.
Yeah.
Just that fresh, okay, you can buy a tea bag and you can make lavender and chamomile. They're out there. But working with it yourself, even if it's just a few minutes and getting the smell on your fingers and having that fresh greenery in your home, it does help.
Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely. Well, that wraps us up for this episode. Please let us know if you're going to try a kitchen garden or if you have tried a kitchen garden. We would love to hear your inspiration and pass that on to others.
Pass on recipes.
Exactly. Pass on recipes. If you've tried a herb salad, I really want to know because I want to know if it's worth it to ttry it. I mean, it was on a blog, so it must be tried and true.
And I want Brandy to know because then she can bring me some herb salad.
Exactly. We'll have like a harvest party and we'll do like herb salads and whatnot. So that's really cool. You can reach out to us over on our email, info@goldenacre.ca. Just put podcast in the subject line and then we'll see it. You can also reach out to us. We're on Facebook, Instagram with Golden Acre Home and Garden. If you're on Spotify or YouTube, you can send us a comment, leave us a review, leave us suggestions on what you want to learn more about, right? You're going to be inspiring us to learn more about gardening and we want to be on that journey with you. So next, we're kind of continuing on our whole summer series. I love this season. I mean, I love spring and summer. It's just so full of opportunity and lots of time to spend outside in our gardens. Like we've put in all this hard work and now that we're into July, it kind of feels like we get an opportunity to really enjoy it, right?
Yeah. You know what we should talk about someday, some episode? What is your favorite furniture to sit on?
Oh.
Like, are you a hammock person? Or are you a comfy outside couch person? Or are you like one of those foldable beach chairs?
Yeah, like how do you enjoy your garden? I would love to know.
Or are you blanky on the grass person?
I mean, but also I don't have allergies, and so that's easy for me to say.
Jenny's favorite, I like hammock or on the grass. Jenny's favorite are the A-frame swing.
Oh, that sounds lovely.
She adores those swings. So
I've always wanted to try an egg chair.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen those? Yep. They look comfortable. They kind of comfortable. I don't know.
They look kind of claustrophobic.
A little bit, but I would be curious anyway.
But you know what? Just like anything else in the garden, there is no right or wrong answer or one size fits all with how you want to sit on your butt and enjoy your garden.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we'll talk all about that and more next week on the podcast.
Bye, everyone.